You're tuned in to Just One Hot Mom with host Nanika Ansari. Get ready. She's about to bring you that fire, that flavor, that heat, all that passion, and more from around the world and in your neighborhood. Stay tuned.
Hey, hot people, you are tuned into Just One Hot Mom. I am your host, Nanika Ansari, and I am on with the diva of details, Tenisha Womack. Hey, Tenisha.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing really well. Exhausted, but well.
I am so glad you were able to come on today because as many times as I do dating after divorce shows, I need for people to see that the fairy tale can have a happy ending, that there is something on the other side of that rainbow. And so today we're talking love under new management.
Amen.
And so first of all, I love that song. Like, that's one of my favorite songs. If it ever comes on, I'm like, yes, I'm singing all the parts. Because as much as I believe, like, that divorce was the right decision for me, I do believe that there's the possibility of love just under new management. And so I wanted to talk to you today because you found love under new management. I absolutely adore Brooks. Like, he is my guy. I had to go back and rewatch the proposal video. I started to post it, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait because that's one of my favorite things to watch, just the look on his face and the excitement when he's getting ready to do it. So, okay, so let's start this off. So in this week's description, we talked about, I talked about your season and your reason. And you were previously married, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so did you think at the time when you were married then that was your finally forever, or did you kind of know in the back of your mind, like, this may be a season and a reason and a lesson?
Okay, so actually I've been married twice, so this
hold on, it cut you out a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. I said I've been married twice, so this is my third time a charm. And I have no question this time, like there won't be a fourth time. So to answer your question, the first time was like a high school sweetheart. We were like the cutest couple. It was the thing to do. Like, not to say that we didn't think that it was love, and not to say that at that time it wasn't. But did I have some questions going into it? Yeah. But like, it was like, well, we already paid for this car. We already told all these people. So, it'll be all right. We're going to go forward with it. And he's a great person, great dad. And that lasted for about 4 years. We made it last 4 years. I'm sure it could have ended before that. So that's my two oldest sons. That's their dad.
Okay.
But did I feel like when I was in it, it was my finally forever? Absolutely not. I could say maybe right after the honeymoon, I knew, okay, the things that I saw that were warnings before, they didn't go anywhere. So when people show you who they are, believe it, and not in a bad way, but just in a way that doesn't make for your finally forever.
And so
if
and I got married young, so I got married like right out of high school. And so I was telling people like who I was at 19 and who I turned into at 25 was a totally different person. So then it was true. I grew up and we grew into two different people that we were back then. And so it wasn't anything negative against him. It was just the fact that, I was a different person. And had I been that person at the time, we might not have even been together. So, it was kind of wishy-washy there. So before Brooks, I'm all about dating and collecting that data. Did you just find that it was hard when you were dating and collecting data from other people? Like, did you ever have that moment where you're like, I'm done with this, I'm giving up, I'm over it?
I dated and it was like, this guy's crazy. Okay, this guy, I don't like his teeth. Okay, this guy wears socks with sandals. It was like I had a list of things like, no, oh, he cool, but he did that one thing I don't like. So I just be by myself.
But did you find?
And then,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish your statement.
Then I just was like, I'm just cool. Like, if it happens, it happens. But I'm not looking for a date. I'm good. I'm good. I've been there, done that. It didn't work. I'm doing me. You know, I got these boys. I got to focus on them. Through the first marriage that didn't work, which was at that time my older two, their dad,
Mm-hmm.
they saw me be the backbone. And I felt like as long as I'm the constant in their life, then they'll be fine. And that was my focus.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was like, well, I don't have to date anybody.
And see, I think that's the point that people miss. See, my thing is I was like, I'm dating, but I'm not serious about anybody. Like, I'm just gonna be out here because I was like, I like to go to dinner and I don't like to pay for it. And so,
Right. I need a sponsor.
People are like, I cannot believe you said that. And I'm like, well, why not? Like, why not be that honest? I was like, because if I had been that honest in marriage in the beginning, then I might not have been in the place that I was in at the time. So I was just gonna be honest about it.
It's real. That's real.
But see, you and Brooks's love story starts even when you were married. You and Brooks were actually in another wedding together.
Right.
And you guys became friends.
So that's the blessing in this and why I'm so confident in it. And I say it on our website that God allowed me to see him making this for me, this man creating my bow for me. But I didn't look at it like that. Like back when we met, we were in a wedding. I'll just be really, really transparent with y'all and tell everybody because we tell people. So we call ourselves dating, and we met in the wedding. So they're like, okay, these are the bridesmaids, these are the groomsmen. So he like, oh, I'm walking with her. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So we ended up walking. So now we talking. So we quote go together. So all leading up to the wedding, people plan weddings for about 18 months or so. So that was my boo. We get to okay.
Hold on, it cut out. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. We get to the wedding and we get to the reception and he got a date.
No, he didn't. He did not have no date.
So I'm like, oh, that was the
Hold up.
end of that. I don't know why that keeps.
I don't know why it keeps cutting out.
Messages. This message is popping up on my screen.
Did you put on do not disturb and that way it won't pop up?
Where's that?
What, you got an iPhone? What kind of
no,
phone
ma'am.
you got? I ain't gonna be able to say
that fight. We'll work through it, okay?
We sure will. We're gonna be all right. I know how to edit. That's a good thing.
Okay, thanks.
So wait, so he brought a date to the wedding. I gotta go back to this because I didn't hear this part of the story. So he showed up with a date. Who did you think
the date was at the reception. So I thought I had a built-in date in the wedding party with me, but we get to the reception and he had a date there. So that was the end of Brooks and I. But just like to keep it all the way, like we were together for like, or so I thought. And we were like, he was like a real for real boyfriend, like was with me every day. I don't know how he had time for anything else, but they find a way.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, that's who he was. So now I know that he wasn't ready for me then, just as I wasn't ready for him. But that's the kind of guy he was. But he was still a great boyfriend to me and being more transparent. And he was probably going to kill me. But like in that whole time, we had no sexual relationship. It was just genuine friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, go out to dinner, spend every day doing something with each other, but nothing more than that. So at that time, I'm like, this is so beautiful, and he ain't asking me to give it up. This is nice. So imagine how devastated I was when I get to the reception and he got a date. I'm like, oh, plus he's older than me. So then I had that, oh, he didn't take me for real. I was just a little girl in his eyes. So, I just took it on the chin like, okay, well.
Brooks lucky he grew up because I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute now, Brooks. But okay, so when it finally looped back around and you saw him again, what was it about him and the time that you saw him and you was like, I'm going to give him another chance? What was it about him that you just was like, okay, now, here we are?
We never lost touch, and like in the time that we were no longer friends, of course, like initially I'm like, I'm never speaking to him again, but we are in the same circle of friends. So we kept in touch, and then like he and I were both in different relationships and like really each other's cheerleader. Like You struggling in your relationship today? Listen, boy, take her out to dinner, buy her some flowers. You know, you have to do this. So I'm coaching him now, and he's doing the same for me. Like, telling me that is your husband. You made those vows. You committed to that. You can't just, you don't just, you know, you can't give up that fast. You got to put everything. You can't exhaust yourself in it yet if you've not done all this, you know. So we were literally like, if our mates knew that we had this friendship, they might not have been okay with it just because
Mm-hmm.
it's a guy or a girl that you used to date, but it honestly was on the up and up, and we were encouraging each other in our relationships, like for the benefit of the other person.
So actually, y'all were just planting a seed. You
Obviously, but
didn't
like
know
at that
it.
time, it was not obvious. It was not like nothing in the back of our head. Like we both talk about it now, like we never saw this coming. Like he wasn't even somebody I looked at that way. I was married and I'm a very faithful woman, and he had a woman anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't look at each other like that. So I don't know. As you know, my mom was passing, and she was in her transition for like 3 months, and I spent
Mm-hmm.
every day at the hospital. And it was like in that time that he was like a really big support out of nowhere, really. So, like, I would not leave her side more, I don't know. I wouldn't leave her side more than a few hours at a time. I may come home, get the boys together for school, and go right back. Or just for maybe every other day, he would just come up there like, hey, I'm downstairs, just come out for a second. I come downstairs, he like ran me down to Public Square just to watch the water jump in the springs, or take me to the lake for like 30 minutes just to get my mind away from the hospital and what was going on with my mom. I'm like, this is really cool. Thanks a lot. Still never thought anything of
He's
it.
just being a good friend. That's all.
Just being a friend. And I'm like, hey, thanks, or just bring something to eat. Um, what, like maybe the Sunday before the Wednesday my mom passed, um, he and the deacons from my church came up and prayed over my mom because he's in my church. A lot of people don't know that as well. I've been in my church for about 15 years. So about
Mm.
7 years ago, I saw Brooks walk in the church. I'm like,
Brooks is
hey,
a
what you doing
stalker.
here? No, at that moment, I mean, it wasn't. It
No,
really
I'm
wasn't.
joking, but it's just amazing.
Yeah,
It's just not to interrupt you just for a second, but it's just amazing how like God just kept showing you, like, okay, he was always
showing me.
around, no matter what. He was always there. He was there as a support with your mom. He was there as a
Mhm.
support through marriages. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the seed was always being planted for him to be
It
some
was.
part of your life.
That's right. And I never put it together until like one day it just hit me like a brick, like, he right here. I wonder hmm. So in that August of 2016, um, I told him I had something to tell him, and he's like, I got something to tell you too. And I told him that, I was now open to dating him, because of the things that I had taken and the time I had taken. And we had talked plenty of times, and I had just told him I'm not on dating. I'm good. That's not where I am. Focusing on my kids. And then my mom got sick, and I'm focusing on my mom. And it was one day, August 22nd. I'm like, I got something to tell you, because it was like pouring out of me, like, I'm ready to date. And ironically, that was the same day that he told me, when he told me he had something to tell me, he also told me that the church had asked him to begin to study to be a deacon in the church. So again, I'm like, God showing up, to me,
Hmm.
both of us having that news to put it together, I'm like, God is telling me he's in this,
Hmm.
so, and that may be my own little twist on it, but that's what it meant to
No, but
me.
I'm just saying, I'm like, for a man to appear everywhere in your life, in all aspects of your life, and for you not to even be considering dating him, it's amazing. But I want to go back and ask you this question, because you made a good point. You said that you had in the past not been ready to date. Do you sometimes think that women get in their own way, like we rush too soon to be in date because we don't, to go ahead and date because we don't want to be alone? And so we just
Yep.
rush into it instead of really waiting and taking the time and hearing the voice of God say, okay,
Mhm.
now it's your time. Why do you think we do that?
I think it's to fill a void.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're looking for that rebound. Like you're used to that person, like you said, somebody paying for dinner. Well, dang, now that such and such is gone, I gotta pay for my own dinner. Well, this is no fun. Or it's Valentine's Day, or it's Sweetest Day, and who I'm gonna be with, and stuff like that. That's on the surface really means not much,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to fill that void too fast.
And see, I think it's a matter of finding your emotional balance. Like you have to,
Hmm.
if you can't go out with somebody and realize that it's not a relationship, you have to be able to realize what is really a relationship that you should be putting your effort into versus to just hanging out. And there's nothing wrong with just hanging out. It's just a matter of you have to be able to know the difference. And if you're not emotionally ready for that, then I would suggest you not date at all. Because,
Right.
I feel like you stumble more on those blocks when you're not emotionally developed in that way. So that's just my own
Right.
thoughts about it.
After each time when I was in a relationship, and I mean, there weren't many. I have just been in a few long relationships, but after each one, I took something like, well, what did you do? What part did you play in that not succeeding? And so, like in my first marriage, I'm like, well, I probably gave up too fast because I was like one of those girls coming out of high school, like I'm cute. I got a college education. I'm independent. I can handle my own. I'm not taking this. Da 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 da. So from that, I learned I may have given up too fast.
And
So
see, I totally get that. But I think sometimes too, it's like you look at the reflection in the mirror, you're not even really who you're going to be at that time.
yeah,
Like I know some young people who have gotten married who have successful marriages. I'm
yes,
speaking from my own opinion and perspective. I
hmm
really did not know who I was at that time. Like you said, we both went to the same high school. I was cute. I
so
was educated. You could not tell me nothing. And
exactly.
so as that person developed and became more confident in who I was, because like maybe I always been a little cocky and confident. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But as
We
I
were
grew
bred
more,
that way because our mamas know
see,
each
I
other.
know, right? We been knew each other. It's like something in the water we was drinking. But as
Right.
that person grew, it was like certain stuff I couldn't put up with, even in a marriage. And so it wasn't. When people asked, I was like, it wasn't anything for me to walk away. It was devastating and it hurt, but I knew my value. And so I think that when
Right.
people start to know their value, you can be okay with determining what might be your finally forever versus
Hmm.
I'm finally going out to get this food. I'm stuck
And
on this
that's
food. I like fancy restaurants.
and that's where Brooks steps in, and he knew a lot of the struggles I had been through. I tell him all the time that I feel like he has been reading the diary that I've been writing all my life, but I didn't write
Wow.
it.
Oh, that's
Like
amazing.
part of it was our friendship. I mean, now it's been over 15 years since the wedding, or about 15 years. So we've been friends all that time, and he knows a lot of intricate things about things that failed in my previous relationships. And at first I thought, oh, he's just trying to show
Mhm.
me that he knows that, so he's doing the opposite. But at this point, when I tell y'all how sweet my honey is, like the things that he does, if he was just doing it to get me, he been had me and he's still doing it. Like I
He
definitely
does
felt
some
like,
sweet stuff. He really does.
and
So
that's just, I mean, like we don't post everything. We're pretty transparent, but we don't post everything. Some things we hold tight to have our own intimacy about. Even, I'm sorry,
that's okay.
even if it's not anything to per se hide, but we don't put everything on social media. But we have a very open relationship as far as what we share. And we don't have secrets. Like I tell him, what makes things perfect about us is that we have the perfect arguments, but the perfect resolution in the way that resolve things to make it real for us.
Hmm.
Like I think if there were no arguments, if anybody's out there watching our relationship and think we don't argue, we don't have disagreements, I'm here to tell you that is not true. But we do have the perfect way of resolving them, and we have the perfect timeouts. Just like anybody else.
But my thing is too is I think in watching you guys, I like to see the love story unfold. One, let's be all the way 100. You guys are an African American Black couple who have a love story to tell. We don't see that often enough. You know what I'm saying? We always see this struggle. So it's exciting to see. Like, I'm sure behind closed doors, that ain't none of our business. Y'all got some stuff y'all working on. But for me personally, it's exciting to see the love story unfold. And I like Brooks because when I was talking to him about you, like, he is like a 12-year-old little boy. He is so
He
excited.
will tell anybody. He'll tell anyone. Like, really, we could be in another country. He'd be like, this my baby. Let me tell you. Let me show y'all the proposal. I think anyone that we have met has seen our proposal video.
And you guys, in case you haven't seen the proposal video, it will be available on the page. I was just waiting. So were you shocked when he proposed, though? Were you shocked?
Yes, I really was. We were in the middle of the ocean, so once I couldn't tell anybody till we got some signal. So we had taken the cruise. His birthday is coming up. His birthday is May 14th. And the year that he proposed to me last year, that actually fell on Mother's Day. Well, my mom had just passed. It was the first Mother's Day. So I wanted to be away, just away from everything, because it's Mother's Day. But I'm like, it's his birthday, so let's do something together. Let's get me away from here. Let's celebrate your birthday. So my emotions were already all over the place. I'm trying not to be so sad and somber because it's his birthday, but it's my first Mother's Day without my mom. So I don't know. You probably could have put an elephant in our room and I wouldn't have noticed it because I was just so out of it, but so focused on trying to give him a good time. So we meet this lovely couple. Like, we have become so close to them. Just on one of the excursions on the cruise. And before I knew it, they had come up with a plan. Everybody was in on it. But I'm just thinking, we met this couple when we get back on the ship. Oh, they said, let's go to karaoke and a comedy show tonight. So we go to karaoke. And Brooks and I were super late. We taking pictures with the captain crew. Like, we'll get there, it's not over for an hour or so. So we get there, and Brooks and the guy, their name is Darren and Brianna. We met them on a cruise. They're from Michigan. And I actually was a bridesmaid in their wedding this past January. So we really love them. And they'll be up for us in August. But Darren and Brooks said they were going to go sing karaoke on stage. So I'm like, oh, y'all silly, but go ahead, let me order a drink, And
no clue.
He's like, no, come up here. He's going to sing to you, and then when I sing, I'm going to sing to Bree, and you'll record when I sing to Bree, and Bree going to record when I sing to you. So I'm like, okay, that's why she got this camera out. So I'm sitting in the back, and they're like, come up here. I'm like, oh, babe, I thought you was going to just say, this goes out to the girl back there in the yellow dress. Why I got to come up here? So he put the chair all the way up to the stage. The DJ, everybody was in on it. So then y'all will see the rest. I don't want to give away the video.
But it is so sweet and amazing. So when I saw it, like, I'm here and we're watching it, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to do it. And you look so clueless.
Yeah, I was clueless because, they did Casey and JoJo, and that's they think they ad-lib. So I'm thinking when he's walking the whole time, he spent around. I'm like, oh, he on his temptation moves, and then he came down the steps and he walked wide-legged. So I'm thinking he's doing the JoJo kick or Casey kick, and he's talking. So I'm just thinking this part of the ad-libbing for the song, and he go in that pocket. I said, oh, this what we doing? So yeah, I was very surprised.
So here it is. Brooks proposes. You guys can't tell anybody until you get back and until you have a signal. How did the kids react to it? Because you have 3 sons that are protective of their mama.
Yes. So I tell everybody that Brooks and my youngest son are best friends. I told Brooks he needs to get some older friends. But Brooks and my 11-year-old are very best friends. Like, they both will tell you. So that was an easy one. My older 2 sons, my middle son, y'all know he's the fly guy that just went to prom. He was sort of like, from now that I have the stories, he was sort of like, okay, yeah, take her, yeah, you good. But let me tell y'all about my oldest child. He is going to be 25 in August. He said, okay, well, you want to, so I forgot to go. Brooks asked my sons for their hand in marriage.
Aww.
My dad is not living, so he went to my sons. My oldest son said, thanks for asking. I would like to speak with you man to man. So scheduled an appointment
That's a
at Brooks'
grown man right
apartment.
there. That's a grown man.
Baby, listen. Brooks said he grilled him. He said it was an Indians game on. Y'all know how long a baseball game lasts. He said from the start to the end of that baseball game, my son asked him questions about, well, why do you want to marry her? My mom is she's the strongest woman I've ever seen. I've seen her, I know she can do this by herself. So what you want her for? What are you bringing? He was like, I do see that you make her smile, and I'm very happy for that. But she doesn't need a man. Like, so are you here for her happiness? Because that's what I need to know. He's like, I've seen her go through pain, and I wonder why she didn't just leave because I've also seen her do this by herself. So he said he grilled him man to grown a man for a very long time. And it was so much, it moved Brooks. But when he was telling me, and this is in after effects, I was in tears.
Yeah, I want to commend you. You have done an excellent job raising those young men. They
Thank
are
you.
so,
Proud
and
of
you know
them.
what? When people say like they are so respectful, but not even that they're so respectful, they are just. It comes off of them like there's just a sense and a glow about their presence. You've done an amazing
Oh,
job with them, and so kudos to you, Mom, because I know it's
thank
not
you. They
easy
make me
raising
so
boys.
proud. Oh, but I be looking at my friends with daughters. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. I couldn't. Not that, look, I couldn't deal with another me. I couldn't do it.
So here it is. All three boys say yes. And so
Mhm.
even as we're going through this engagement process, like what keeps you encouraged to know that this is your finally forever?
Oh, I'm blessed every day. I have a new reminder every day of why God placed us together, and a reminder and a sign that this is all God.
That's
And He tells you like He won't leave you or forsake you, and then that He'll bless you so abundantly it'll be running over. And those are the kind of blessings I receive in this relationship. Actions from Brooks, but just blessings. And I know that had we not been doing the right thing by God and walking along the path that He's laid, that things wouldn't be how they are.
So can you give like some encouraging tips? Because there's some lady out there listening or tuned in right now who is unsure if she's in her finally forever. How can we encourage her to be like, you know what, to one, seek that out or maybe even state that to the man? How can we encourage her to be like, you know what, this might be for you or it might not be for you?
So does a disagreement make you be like, I don't know about this, or does a disagreement be like, well, I wonder what we're gonna eat for dinner tomorrow because it ain't over. Because that's how I feel like, oh, we gonna get through this too. This is nothing compared. I love the little spats we have compared to the stuff I've been through. So if it's better than what you've been through, that's an easy sign right there. And if you can look past it during the storm and whatever your storm may be, if it's not big enough to make you doubt that you should be in that relationship, that's another good sign. Like we can have differences, and I know it's not over. I know it's not the end. I know I would never give them up that easy.
See, that's what I'm talking about, ladies. You got to know. Because let me tell you this, if you burn my grits and we ain't that cool, it's a wrap for you,
It's
brother.
it's over.
It's over. But I'm so glad that you came in and you were able to tell the ladies that, because I think all too often we sometimes think it's our finally forever. And then when we get in one big blow up, we decide like, oh, I don't know if I want to be with him tomorrow. Then we ended up being,
I ain't like you
right.
anyway.
But then we end up going back only to
hmm
discover that, so it's like a lot of back and forth.
Oh yeah, I just one of my other sayings is don't put a comma. If God placed a period there, don't make it a comma
And sometimes
and
y'all
keep
need
it
to
going.
close that window, draw the shades, put some curtains up. You need to seal it with some paint, because sometimes you keep letting the same situation occur in your life all because
hmm
of that one thing. And that's because you don't want to be alone. But I think I've had the most peaceful time when God has called me to be alone, to figure things
hmm
out. Like He's trying to
Oh
draw
yeah.
my attention in. And
And I think it takes that time alone to have that discernment when finally forever comes along.
okay,
Because during that time, you set up in your mind, well, what did I do to play? How did that fail? What did I do to make that not work? And then you also ask yourself, well, what am I willing to accept next time? And what am I not willing to accept?
And see, I think that that's the beautiful thing is that sometimes instead of reflecting on what that other person did wrong, because we could always name 50 billion things that they did wrong,
Oh, yeah.
but it's hard for us to do some self-reflection and say, what did we play in a role? Like, you know what? I knew I shouldn't have been with this person in the first place, but I kept dibbing and dabbing in it. And so I think we make excuses for ourselves, but we expect them to fall on the sword. And so
Right.
it's a lot of self-reflection that has to take place. So if you were to
That's
drop a last bit of advice for these ladies out here who are looking for their finally forever, what would you tell them?
You need to be one with yourself and one with God. And I think that if you have that relationship with God, then your message will come to you and your blessing will come to you, and you'll know that that is nothing but God that sent that blessing. It wasn't Skeets.
It wasn't your girls over here. Because I think
Right.
sometimes our friends be like, no, you can't leave him. He's good for you. But they don't know everything. They
Mhm.
don't know the ins and outs of what you may really be going through with that person. And so you're right. You and God had that conversation and that connection. I thank
That's
you
right.
so much for sharing your finally forever. I'm telling y'all, I am wedding ready. She don't even know yet. I am. First of all, Tanisha's shoe game. Like I tell people that my shoe game is sick. Tanisha's shoe game is off the hook, so I know we're gonna see
I
some
love it too,
shoes.
baby. I love it too.
But
I love it.
not only is she a beautiful bride, but you are also an accountant and you are a candy consultant, correct?
That's
Can
correct.
you drop your information out just so that we can support you, please?
Yes. Okay. So my tax season just ended, but I do have a few things that I'm still working on for my customers and clients that I file quarterly. So my tax business is Taxes by Tanisha, and you can contact me via Facebook for that. I don't try to give out all my personal information on that. Um, I have a lot of referrals every year, and I have a nice client base that has continued to come back year after year. I've been doing taxes for about 20 years. I also am an accountant professionally in the corporate America, so I have that experience to back it up.
Oh,
As well as I am a bedroom candy consultant, the luxury line of intimate toys by Candy Burris. So I have a website for that. It is shop.bedroomcandy/5656. And I've had some high achievement in that as well. So one of the top sellers when I was heavily into it. So I can book your party for you and your people. I do co-ed parties as well as female girls nights, whatever you want to do. We can do some day parties. So get with that luxury line of intimate toys.
and let me tell
That's
y'all, if y'all gonna stay married or be married, y'all need to get at her for that stuff.
Amen.
I remember,
Amen.
I don't know if you remember, I think it was a while back, like I was still married and I was like, oh, I'm about to get myself together. You was like, girl, you better work. You better get it all the
That's
way
right.
together.
That's right. I'm all about enjoying your presence. Once you're blessed with your bro, you can enjoy it.
So thank you
So y'all
so
know
much.
if I leave my reception early, Nikki, just keep the party going.
I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna have to bring some extra shoes to change up the shoe game. So we have something to do. I want to thank you so much, Tanisha, for coming on this evening. You know I love you dearly. I
Thank
love your
you. I
family.
love
And
you.
I am loving Brooks. Like he is so amazing to me. Hotties, I want you to consider this that there is love after bad relationships, after relationships that you may shouldn't have been in, or maybe relationships that you know they just were not meant for you. You shouldn't have been in them. But there is love after that. Your finally forever is out there waiting for you. So tonight, get on your knees, say your prayers, and let God align that person with you. Because he did it for Tanisha, so I'm sure it can happen for all of you. You've been tuned in, hotties, and guess what? You've been elevated. Talk to you soon.